Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. My name's Joe Zeleznik. I work for NDSU Extension. I'm the forestry specialist. I've been there 16 and a half years, and I love what I do. So I am very blessed that way. I want to talk about trees and shrubs. I think we all recognize the benefits and values of windbreaks. I don't think we need to go down that road, but what I do love about this place is the diversity of species. Even within the main windbreak there, there's a mix. There's a mix. Even the spruces, they alternate every other one. One is a Colorado blue spruce, the next one's Black Hills. And so they keep alternating. And sometimes where they switch soil types, or maybe when they ran out of a certain species, they just started putting in the next one. So windbreaks don't have to be all the same species in a given row. They can be mixed. Some people don't like that. They want it nice and simple. But, you know, diversity is helpful, especially if an insect or disease comes along that's going to kill one of the species. So out here, there's a lot of things here that you will see in windbreaks. There's some things you won't see in windbreaks around here. And I just want to go through some of these. There's actually, surprisingly, a lot of edible stuff here. That really blew me away, how much here is edible. But with that, I don't have a specific program. I don't have a planned program. I want to just walk around and see what we see. And if you have questions, holler. And the stuff further north is labeled. Stuff down here is not. But there's some pretty neat things here. And I just want to walk around. If you have questions, holler. One of the things that I saw, two of the things I saw out here, first one right on the edge there is American cranberry bush, or also called high bush cranberry. It is native to North Dakota. You find them in the native forests, and they're used in windbreaks a lot. But right next to it is Nanny Berry, which is also a viburnum, very closely related to that cranberry bush. And you don't see those in windbreaks a lot. Have you tried a lot of the Nanny Berry? Okay, and it's also edible though, which is wonderful. A variety of currants, the black currant, the golden currant, which are labeled further out in the arboretum. These ones here are euonymus. This is burning bush, and these are just beautiful in the fall. Nice bright red. How have they done in windbreak situation? To me, they always seem a little tender, but you know, here they do have a lot of protection with the other trees around them. How have they done here?
Actually doing pretty well.
Okay.
How big do they get?
I've seen them as a small tree, maybe 8 to 10 feet. You know, or a large shrub, 8 to 10 feet. Yeah, that's how big I've seen them. With that, well, let's walk around. Let's look at stuff. From here on back is the arboretum where things are labeled. If you're not familiar, this is one called Velosa lilac. Mostly what we have around here is common lilac, which can last 100 years or more. Velosa lilac has been used in more recent years. It's kind of a lighter pink, purplish flower. The leaves are just a little bit thicker, waxier than common lilac, but just adds a little extra diversity to the windbreak. And over here, a couple of the roses. Oh boy, I don't know where to go with this because there's so much we can look at. What kind of species do you all like to plant or want to experiment with? You've heard about?
I want to with the edibles.
With edibles?
Yeah.
Okay, well there's a lot of edibles through here. Have you planted much seaberry?
Yeah.
Okay, seaberry is also called sea buckthorn. It might be a little invasive, especially up in Canada. They're starting to plant it less. It's a bright orange berry, and boy is it tart. A lot of vitamin C. It's very, very delicious. Aronia, also called black chokeberry. There's a bunch of ornamental types, but there's one of the rows back here. They're just bearing like crazy. Personally, I don't like them. They're gross. But some people do like them. They're very high in antioxidants. They're very healthy, very good for you.
What don't you like about them?
They're just too bitter for me.
They're in a lot of juices though.
Sure. Yeah, they are. Oh, it's very, very healthy. Very good for you.
The sea berry, if you keep it under mulch, and will it still be invasive?
Will it still be?
Invasive.
But it,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's the seeds that spread out.
Oh, the seeds do.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're mowing, then you're probably going to catch them.
Well, in theory, yes. But the birds can spread things further away.
Burr oak out here?
I saw one tiny one. It surprised me. You do have some big ones in the initial windbreak? Okay, out in the Arboretum, there's the one small one. There are a few oaks out here. I'm really hesitant with oaks to go much beyond bur oak because they haven't really been proven. Where was I today? Killdeer this morning, Killdeer, North Dakota, further west from here. And there was a northern pin oak, and it wasn't looking good, and I wasn't hopeful for it. Northern pin oak, northern red oak, which there was a northern red oak planted here. Not doing so good, but some people do try those. They just can't take our high pH soils that we have here. There's a swamp white oak, which is doing okay. Swamp white oak is from the eastern U.S. It's not a cold hardy issue, but it's a soil pH issue. So the oaks are a little bit tough to find those really good ones. What other edibles do you have here? I noticed there's Nanking Cherry, which is delicious. It's a shrub. It's up on this side. I remember seeing it. Of course, chokecherries and Juneberries. Actually, I didn't see Juneberries out here.
Yeah, they're down.
They are? Okay.
That's the one you just, the Nanking right there.
Okay. Oh yeah, right there. Yep.
And then sand cherry.
Mm-hmm. So actually, let's just go right over to those. This one's called Nanking Cherry. Obviously, it doesn't have any cherries this year, but I have seen them this size bearing fruit, and I wouldn't be surprised if next year they're bearing fruit. Was there a late frost here?
Yeah, well, it was rain and real cold.
Okay.
And I never got any either.
Okay. The scientific name is Prunus tomentosa. Tomentosa means hairy, tomentose, and the leaves are very soft and hairy. I love this thing. The fruits.
Jelly.
I know. Isn't it delicious? It's wonderful.
How do you get them from the birds? You got to pick.
You-
Nature and red. You don't take
Yeah.
one day off. You pick.
Yeah. You've got that 6-hour window.
And then probably out of them. Yep.
Sure.
Are any of these, male and female, different trees that you have to plant together?
With these, no. Where you see, it's not so much male and female. Male and female would be like box elder, cottonwood. But with the fruits, there are certain things that you do need two different varieties. Like apples, you need two different varieties. The apricots, some of the pears, you need two different varieties. And with apples, pretty much any apple can pollinate any other apple. Well, the bees can carry that around. With the apricots and the pears, there are specific ones that cross. And I don't have that in my head right now, but you'd have to look it up.
But for these windbreak,
For these windbreaks, no, they're pretty much self-fertile, or just get 2 or 3 of them in a row, and that's fine. Sand cherry, right here. There's an eastern sand cherry. There's a western sand cherry. There's a lot of different sand cherries. This is western sand cherry. I really like western sand cherry because it's a bigger fruit than chokecherry, and it's not nearly as bitter. So a lot more juice. The thing about sand cherries, they can take a lot of heat. They can take a fairly dry soil. So I really like those. They only live maybe 10 or 15 years. They're relatively short-lived though. So that's a challenge with those. And there's some Aronia right next to this. So let's go to the next one. This is black chokeberry, Aronia, Milano carpa is the scientific name. And it's funny because to my eye, the shape of the leaf looks a lot like chokecherry, but boy, it's just so black, dark, or not black, darker green and shiny. And it just doesn't get hit by the insects so much. And the clusters of fruits, big clusters of fruits that open up near the top. And I don't know. Anybody have any experience with these, with the chokeberries or Aronia? Other than drinking it in your Palm Wonderful juice. Yeah.
I work at Vintner's Winery.
Oh,
and
okay.
We make an Aronia berry wine.
Okay.
People are
Yeah.
always like, what is that? So,
Sure. It's not my favorite, but a lot of people do like it, and it is very healthy for you.
So how long before it start producing from
Oh, as little as 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, I've got some in the ground.
This is second season.
Second year?
This is second. Okay. Yeah, this one is pretty amazing. So the honeysuckles, it's a whole group of species. There's a Tatarian honeysuckle hammer, the blue leaf, and those are not edible. Very common in conservation plantings, a nice shrub. They got these little pink, red or orange fruits that come in pairs. You see them in the fall. They can be a little invasive, but there's another group within this genus, Lonicera, that's the honeyberries, honeyberry or hascap, and they're blue and you can eat them, and they're delicious. And unfortunately, I don't know anything about them. Kathy Wiederholt at the Carrington Research Extension Center, she's got quite a program up there, and I'd encourage you to look up the Carrington Research Extension Center Small Fruits Project. She's got a ton of information on these. Okay, so those are the hascaps or honeyberries, and it's a delicious fruit. And I see one developing right now, a single one. The blueberries you find in the northern U.S., northeastern U.S., again, they need very high acid soils, which out here on the prairie we don't have. So regular blueberries just can't make it out here. Back there is an elderberry, American elderberry, that young one there. And there are a couple different types of elderberry. I just want to point them out. The American elderberry, this is not native to North Dakota, it's native to the eastern U.S., but it's got this flat-topped fruit cluster, and these are going to be like a dark purple. And when I grew up in Ohio, Grandma would send us out in August and September, go clip these, and we'd bring them in, and she'd make jelly and jam. So these are edible. The one we have native here is the red-berried elder, and it is not edible. Some people say it's toxic, I don't know, but it's just, yeah, don't go down that road.
The berries are red when they're...
And they are red, they're bright red as they're developing and when they're mature. And the red-berried elder, the fruit cluster kind of looks like a cone. Okay. And I live east of Fargo, and we have them all over the place.